Welcome to the AdaKay Show. I'm your host, AdaKay, and I am a criminal justice major. I am also a deaf courtroom commentator, breaking down the gripping courtroom drama while providing full ASL interpretation, making justice accessible to everyone. Grab a cup of Java and let's dive in. Don't forget, comment, like, and subscribe. And if you love this channel, please become a member. Hey guys, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. Yay! We have internet. Everything's good. Woohoo! Sorry guys. It's been a day, but I was able to come live. You good, babe? My daughter just got in from out of town. I'm so excited and I'm happy to see her. And we are going to go live. We are live and we're going to be talking about this trial. Now, it's going to be a little different tonight because I had a wonderful mod make a suggestion and we're going to give it a go. We're not going to watch every single word of this trial. I'm going to hit the highlights and it's still going to be quite a bit. And we're going to try a new format and see how you like it. Thank you guys for joining us. Hello, honey. How are you doing, honey? I hope you're doing well. I got to get the court feed up. Trying to get the court feed up while I talk to you. I had everything shut down. And I'm trying to get everything back up and running. You know how that goes. All right. Yes, I'm in livecom. So I hope y'all have had a good week. I hope you had a fabulous Friday. We are on day 3. Are we on day 3? Yes. Right now, I have to say I have been so for all of the bantering and the stuff going back and forth between the attorneys. They have gotten very snippy and nasty with each other. Hello, Rico Flores. Hola, friends. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Have had a lot of internet issues in Kerrville lately, and I finally figured out why. They have been actually doing some work. They've been actually doing some work and replacing a bunch of cabling and God only knows what. I don't know all the proper terms. I'm not a tech, that kind of techie, but, we were glitchy at work for about an hour and a half, 2 hours today. And so fortunately, when I left today, I was like, oh God, please let internet be up. No, it wasn't. So I told you I'd pop in if it fixed itself. I mean, if it got fixed and everything was fine, and it is. So congratulations. Thanks for joining me tonight. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to be watching the court, and then I'm going to be doing the hot spots. I've never done it this way. So let's see how I do, okay? I'm trying to get everything organized because I ran in here. It popped up and I was like, yes, we're live. We're live. Okay. So let me get the screen shared. Let me do this. Let me get the screen. Let me get everything up and going. So honey, thank you so much for being here. Yay! Thank you. Appreciate you so much. Connecting everything. Hold on. Okay. All righty, y'all. Okay. Court is we're gonna get court moving. Give me a second. Okay, let me get things going. I'm gonna have to do it this way. Hold on a minute, y'all. Life is hectic. Let me pull up this way. Tell me, how was your week? What are y'all gonna do this weekend? How are things for you, and what are you doing this weekend? What is going to be your plans for the weekend? Are y'all going to do anything special? I know I have a few friends that have to work on the 4th of July, so this is their 4th of July, and they're going to be working. They're going to be celebrating. I know somebody else is getting married this weekend. Congratulations. Y'all are amazing, and I wish you guys all the best and love and happiness in your marriage. So congratulations. All right. So I'm trying to get this going. I have something I'm trying to get off on my thing. There we go. Let me get it up here. I took notes. I had a day today at work where I could eavesdrop, and I just quickly wrote down times and was able to now I need to get this down and move the captioning. I was able to basically pull timestamps and make a few notes. Okay, everybody, here we go. Get to comments, get everything where I can see. Okay. The internet is bad for you, right? Yeah, it's been very choppy, intermittent. It's been sluggy. And I found out that all of the internet cable, whatever, in this retirement, in this apartment complex, kind of like duplex that I live in, we were told the one for my particular house runs underneath the cable, so they had they really couldn't replace that. And it was from when this was built in the late 80s, early 90s. So, Rico Flores, you're going to be grandparents. Congratulations, love. I'm so happy for you. It's a wonderful experience, so I'm told. I've not been there yet. And so they can't replace the wire that runs under the house. And I guess investigations and everything, they have discovered that all of the cabling around here is antiquated, as they put it. So they have been working in the neighborhood and trying to replace a lot of that. And then the other day, I think it was Wednesday, I don't know, the other day, Kerrville, we had no cell phones, we had no internet from me towards town, but where I'm at, we had internet. Go figure. So anyway, okay, so let's get me going with this. Give me another hot minute. I'm going to enlarge this so I can read it better. I took notes, so if I'm reading a little bit, don't get mad because it's a lot of notes to read. I had a very good work day, but it was also very easy. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to be just going from clips. This is an 8-hour day, and I'm going to take it to a much shorter day. We don't have to sit and listen to all the hymns and haws and all of that kind of stuff. So let me see. We have this. Are y'all hearing court at all? Oh, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm talking over it. I have to fix something because it does it every time. Do y'all hear court? Were y'all hearing court? Because I'm not hearing court. Let me go to my audio. That's weird. Let me just pop it.
Tools will then remove the data,
Are
well,
y'all
not
hearing
remove it,
Court?
but they will
Please
copy
let me
out
know.
the information. They aren't removing anything from the device, but they the tools will then extract the information from that device and then place it onto a computer, which then we plug into software that then processes it. Because if we looked at the data that came directly out of the phone, it's databases, and it's really ugly and hard to ingest. When we process it with our software, it makes it much easier for us to examine them, because it ultimately puts it into a form that's very similar to what you would be seeing on your own phone that we're all familiar with. So the software really helps out a lot with that.
The first time you did the extraction, once you have the extraction, what do you do with it?
That extraction then moves to our server from the tools that extract the data from the phone. That information, or that data that is copied out from the phone, is then entered into the software that I was just describing.
Okay, I've got Court now. My apologies. Okay, let me go back now. That was a problem, y'all. Okay, we're up and running. Yay, we're good. First of all, I want to thank my mods for being here. You're absolutely the best. I love you very much. Thank you so much. Okay, so we are going to hop in the Blaise Taylor case, where he allegedly used cocaine and put it in the drink of his girlfriend because she refused to unalive the child within her belly because he didn't want her to have it. And she ended up dying. The family the baby died first while in the womb, and then the family removed life support, and she died on her birthday, March 6th, I believe, and 25 years old, her 25th birthday. And so her birthday and passing away day is the same day. And he is being charged with the crime. So what we're going to be doing is, this is going to be the where we're going to go right now. Let me pause it. I don't know if our timestamps are going to match up. We're going to wait and see. We're gonna play some of this. Yeah, it's not. They're not.
Right.
What part of it was less
It looks different now. But what we're gonna do is, we're gonna sit here and we're gonna go through and we're gonna talk, and we're gonna.
And then I went to a burglary unit for about 5 years.
Right, here we go,
we
y'all.
investigated residential burglaries, and then I went.
I got to get his name.
I'm currently on an injury on duty pension. Had a few shoulder surgeries. I should be.
Let me get it. All right, here we go. Welcome everybody, George, your girl for eyes, never and always. Yay! No. Am I crackling? Oh no. Okay, I'll work on it. Okay, is that crackling? I switched ports. Let me know. Angel Eyes, will you let me know? Someone let me know. Is that good or bad? I'll go listen.
Okay.
I have a brand new mic cord. I shouldn't be doing this.
Who's the next witness?
Sergeant.
Sergeant. Got two in the restaurant.
Okay, while he's doing that, we're gonna do a mic check. I've got me on here so I can hear me. So let me know if it is crackly for you. And it's a few seconds delayed, so I'll be able to hear myself. Let me see. I'm gonna listen real quick. All right, I'll keep working on it. Thanks, guys. I'm going to zoom. They're not
believe
talking.
anyone to be in the residence.
I don't know why this is not syncing. Why do I have to have
To
all this
the-
trouble?
We're doing it, who was there, things like that.
Certainly. So the gentleman who's speaking right now is Lieutenant Gibson over the Homicide Division. I had also spoken with him a little bit about the situation of what was going on that evening and how we were conducting a search warrant for an ongoing investigation. He'd advised us that there was an individual that was at the hospital that that had a case that was being investigated as a homicide. We did not know the method of the homicide. All we knew is that it was a homicide investigation. The other sergeant present is Josh Hargrave, who worked with me on Hermitage Midnights, and then the two uniformed officers present.
All right, guys, can you hear me? I switched sections. Let me know if you can hear me.
Are Eric Ziegler and Philip Parker. Both of them were relatively new. I gave them instructions that once we went in, that they were just simply there to help us clear the residence, make sure that there's no one inside that could be a threat to any investigators. So our primary goal at this point is this would not be considered a very hostile environment to our knowledge, but we still take the precautions necessary. So we're just going to go in and make sure that there's no one inside the building at this point. Lieutenant Gibson has a key to the residence. At this point, he is announcing inside the residence, making our presence known that we are the Metro Nashville Police. We're here to conduct a search warrant. That way, if there is anyone inside the house, I'm documenting the time with my watch, audibly speak it into the body camera as well. At this time, we've made entry to it, and we're giving anyone that could be inside the residence after multiple announcements that we are the police and we're there with a search warrant to make themselves known before we enter, just in case there is someone in there. We don't run into a situation that could turn into a use of force situation or be a surprise to anyone. We want everyone to know who we are and what we are doing.
Sergeant Finney, up there at the top, is that the date time stamp for when you were executing the search warrant?
It is.
So it's February 27th, around 2 a.m. Is that fair to say?
That's correct. So we're giving an ample amount of time to anyone inside the residence because of the time of night that it is. If there was someone, say they're in bed, give them an opportunity to get dressed and let them know that we're coming in, and if they want to come speak with us, they can. As you see, there's no sense of urgency at this point, so we don't need to rush in there like we're going after an actual individual because we don't believe anyone to be in the residence. Once an ample amount of time is given, we'll go into the residence. We're looking around just for any sort of weapons that could be present. We'll document that. We'll audibly tell the other officers that are going in there. So if we see knives in the kitchen, is obviously a place that there would be weapons. We're looking through, making sure there's no one inside any of the rooms. At one point, as we're walking through here, I do observe a handgun. Again, we were not told the method of the homicide. We just knew that it was a homicide investigation. So whether or not it's evidentiary, it's good to announce that, but it's also
Testing,
to
1,
let
2.
the other
I don't know what
officers
happened. Now my
inside know
camera's
that there
down.
is a weapon present in a certain location. So we're just doing a very
I see my mic is working, but I don't know. There we go. I'm back up. Are y'all there? Please let me know how it is.
cursory search of the residence to make sure that there's not an individual in there. Our role in this is to do just that and to have uniformed officers present. So it's obvious that the police are inside. So we're going to take the precautions that we can to make sure that everyone remains safe. Once we've completed our search, that's when the homicide detectives who are in plain clothes and our CSI unit comes in and does their investigation. So once we've completed the search, I instructed the 2 officers present to stay on the outside of the perimeter and just limit who has access to and from the apartment. Make sure that it's someone that has business being in there with law enforcement or law enforcement adjacent with our crime scene detectives, because not all of them are sworn personnel. So see, we searched the residence. We didn't find anyone inside. So we're turning the scene over to Lieutenant Gibson of the homicide unit at this point.
Sergeant Benning, you did not collect any evidence, is that correct?
I did not.
Okay, can you walk the jury through how you would collect evidence when you're executing a search warrant, what precautions you take, things like that?
So anything that we're going to touch, we're going to want to have gloves on, first of all, to rule out any DNA that could be left by the officers that are responding. In this situation, we're not collecting any evidence because there's no one inside. It's a secure scene, and we can hand that over to the our CSI unit to do all the evidence collection. But depending on what kind of evidence depends on how it's packaged, and we'll leave that to those guys as they process it in the lab as well.
Okay, do you photograph anything and document it if you were to collect evidence?
We would.
All right, give me 1 minute. Are there questions?
Yes, thank you. Sergeant Feeney, did I understand you say you did see a gun in the apartment?
Yes.
And what was that?
I believe it was in the bedroom,
Do you know where in the bedroom?
maybe next to the nightstand. I don't recall.
So on the body camera with audio on it, can you hear you announcing that there's a gun?
Yes.
Is that something that other officers note also?
I would imagine they took a mental note of it, but I can't tell you what exactly they did.
So you're the only officer on the audio of that body cam that says something about the gun?
Yes, because I was the only officer that went into the room when I was clearing it that saw it.
Okay, so you're the only officer that goes into the room and notes the gun?
At that point in the search warrant, yes.
And that's actually on the audio of the body camera?
Correct.
Which we can't hear on this one?
Correct.
Were you present for the rest of the search of the apartment?
I was not inside, no.
Where were you positioned for the rest of the search?
Out in the parking lot.
What was your role during the rest of the search?
I still had to supervise a patrol shift, so the rest of the search, I was outside. I had nothing to do with the interior of the residence.
Did you leave before it was completed?
I did.
So you were essentially assigned to the entry team, and then once that was done, your duties were completed?
Yes, I left the 2 uniformed patrol officers on the scene, so if the plainclothes officers and the investigators needed any assistance from a marked uniformed patrol, that they would be present. But I also instructed them that if they had to do anything else to notify me.
So you were available if they needed help?
Yes.
But your recollection is there was no help needed for the rest of the search?
Correct. We had 94 square miles of coverage that we're responsible for, so I can't sit on one scene all night.
And this seems like an obvious question, but of course your body cam doesn't show the rest of the search.
Correct.
Are you aware if there is any body cam that shows the rest of the search?
I am not.
Are you aware if there is policy related to body cam footage during the search of an apartment?
At that time, there was none.
There was no policy, or there is no body cam?
At that time, there was no policy that required you to keep a body camera on while you're conducting a search for residents. Typically, your crime scene investigators do all of that with a digital camera.
Okay. That might record the actual...
Yes, but as to whether or not that exists, that's not in my scope of the investigation. That's not my role.
Are you aware if there's currently a policy related to body cams during searches?
I'm not up to date on our current policy. I've been on IOD for 2 years,
Oh, wow.
so
You're probably ready to get back, huh?
should be starting back soon. So,
Well, congratulations.
thank you.
Were you provided any information and related to sort of what the nature of this entry was or this search was related to before starting the search?
I was given information by the homicide unit that this was something that should have been done the previous day by the domestic violence division, and they failed to do so. So now they were having to come in later than they would have liked to conduct the search warrant, which is why I instructed my 2 officers who are relatively new to not touch anything and not get overly involved, because this would be going to trial in a few years. And it was less than ideal circumstances for them.
What part of it was less than ideal?
Well, when you're a new officer and you don't know what you don't know, so you don't know what you need to be looking for, you don't know what you need to announce, you don't know what you need to pay attention for, because whether or not you can recall something, 3, 4, 5 years later. Because when you're brand new, those are things that you don't understand what to look for and what to do. So that's why I made sure that myself and another sergeant came out and were present at the execution of the search warrant.
You're a very experienced officer. Why was it that it was your understanding that this search should have been done the day before?
I can't speak to why the domestic violence division failed to follow policy and protocol, but I just know that they did, but I can't speak for the actions of another person.
You had indicated, I think on direct, that something about that scene not being secured. Did you have some understanding related to that?
It was locked when we got there. We were there to secure the scene with our 2 officers present. That as far as the outside of the perimeter being secured, it's an apartment complex. It was, as soon as we were made aware of it, we sent 2 officers there to make sure that no one entered or exited the residence. So, but from the time that we sent 2 officers there to whenever the incident originally occurred, I can't speak.
Did you have information about whether anybody else had actually been to the apartment?
No, not at that time.
You didn't actually have that.
No, not at that time.
Did you have any information about whether anything had been removed from the apartment?
Not at all. Like I said, we were given very limited information, and I would prefer to have kept it that way. So I could tell that there was an issue somewhere, and I would let them work that up amongst themselves.
Generally, the information is that this should have been done the day before, but it wasn't.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, there you go, guys.
Jason Terry.
Testing. While they're bringing them in, can you tell me can someone please say, yes, we hear you? Because I changed speakers and I don't know if it's the same or if it's different. Let me know, please, Maud. Just trying to see if y'all can hear me. Testing 1, 2. I just want to make sure this is working. Maud, this is a different channel. Please let me know. Thank you.
Sir, would you please state and spell your name?
Jason Terry, JASON
Now I can
And
hear you again.
Mr. Terry, what is the current state of your employment?
I'm a retired Metro Nashville police officer.
And when did you enter into the retirement stage?
Approximately 3 years ago, it'll be 3 years in July.
How long
Testing,
were you
testing.
with the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department?
23 years.
And without me doing the math, when did you start?
I started in 2000.
When you started in 2000, what were your duties, responsibilities with the police department?
I initially started out, as we all do, I worked patrol for approximately 5 years before becoming a detective in the sex crimes unit. I was there 4.5 years before transferring to the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force. From there, I was a detective in the auto theft unit for almost 5 years before completing my last almost 6 years in the crime scene unit.
And in February of 2023, what branch of the police department or what unit were you assigned to?
I was assigned to the crime scene unit.
And how long would that have been that you had been in the crime scene unit at that time?
At that time, about 5.5 years.
During those 5.5 years, had you responded to few or many crime scenes?
Quite a few.
Now, what does the crime scene unit do?
What we do is when we get called to a scene, and here in Nashville, most everything we can, if we're requested, will come out unless we find a reason not to. But generally what we do, we'll come out, we'll assist detectives or patrolmen, help identify possible evidence that will then document the evidence. We'll collect it and then help preserve it by the way we package it and by the way we take it down to our property room for storage.
And to work in the crime scene unit or CSI unit of the police department, do you undergo any specialized training?
Yes, initially the training is for the ones like me that were sworn officers. We have both sworn and civilian crime scene technicians. With the sworn officers, it's pretty much initially on the job training because we have to have a minimum 3 years of service before we can even apply. But once we're in there, we get sent to the National Forensics Academy, which is a 10-week intensive course in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. It's held by the University of Tennessee. There's 10 weeks of crime scene investigation training, everything from different ways of fingerprinting to evidence collection to photography. We also are required, I believe it's within 2 years of being assigned to the crime scene unit, we have to become certified by the International Association of Identification. We are tested, we have to apply, and we have to pass in order to be certified as crime scene technicians.
And did you accomplish all that?
I did, yes.
Now, as part of that, are there certain protocols,
Yep.
rules, for lack of a better term, that you would follow in entering and processing a crime scene?
There are. It's dependent on the scene, but there are some protocols. We have certain standard operating procedures depending on what kind of scene it is, things we do.
Now, do you as a crime scene investigator always know the facts of what caused it to be a crime scene?
We do not. Generally, we depend a lot on the information the detectives give us. Unlike what you might see on television shows, we're not the ones sitting down interviewing witnesses and victims and suspects. And we get our information from the detective. We go through the scene. Now, as we do that, we're still open-minded. If we see something can be helpful. But at the end, that scene belongs to that detective. We're there to assist, and we're more supplemental.
And are there some crime scenes that you respond to where it's obvious that an item might have evidentiary value?
Yes, it is.
A shooting scene and there's a weapon.
Yes, sir.
Might be something to collect, correct?
Yes, sir.
On the other hand, respond to the shooting scene, there may be an item that's totally irrelevant.
Quite a bit, yes, sir.
And would you collect something that you've already realized is totally irrelevant to that crime scene?
No.
And is that a judgment call that you make in consultation with the lead detective?
Right. Generally, the way it goes, the detective, since they've done the talking to everybody involved, there's a search warrant involved. They're the ones that developed enough probable cause for the search warrant. They know all the context of what's going on. I get called in code for a scene. help identify certain things. They help put that, whatever you see, into possible context.
Now, as a crime scene investigator in 2023, were you wearing body-worn camera?
We were assigned them because, like I said, we're a sworn officer, but the basic function of a body-worn camera is your interaction with the public. So we weren't required on scenes or in that because we dealt with officers 99% of the time. So we had body-worn cameras, but we weren't required to have one at a scene because we weren't interacting with the public.
And therefore, you'd be filming, you're collecting evidence or packaging it, doing anything like that?
We would not.
However, when you do go to a crime scene, is it recorded in another method? Photographs?
Yeah, that's one of the means we document it. There's several different tools we can use, but the one, almost every crime scene I've ever worked, we photograph the scene. That's our main way we document a scene for future reference.
And when you go to a crime scene, would the detectives and/or other officers normally be there ahead of you?
Yes, of course.
And as the crime scene investigator, do you have a protocol or standard operating procedure of how you view and assess the scene on a step-by-step process?
Everybody, it probably varies slightly, but yes, I had my own unique process. Like the way I'd write my reports, I'd speak with the detectives, see what they had, see what they required of me. I would then usually maybe walk the scene with them or go through the scene and initially take photographs because that's how the scene was when I arrived. And then after that, I would go back through, depending on what kind of scene it was, and collect any evidence that was observed.
Now, are you initially the one who would enter the apartment or the scene first?
No.
When you were working as a crime scene investigator, Metropolitan Nashville Police Department in February of 2023, were you requested to come to a location at 1522 Lebanon Pike, Apartment 107?
I was.
And you recall approximately when and where you were when you received the request?
When I received the initial request, I was on as a death scene in South Nashville because I wasn't off that scene yet. We were running short that night. I believe I talked with Sergeant Chris Dickerson from the homicide unit who was requesting us. Spoke with him just about what they had, what they were needing from us, because if it meant we needed certain equipment that we use, which is only kept at the office, I would have to go from South Nashville to Madison, where our office was, and then go back to Harness or there on Lebanon Pike address.
And referencing crime scenes, does the nature of the crime scene and or the request for assistance determine on how many crime scene investigators might go?
It can. There are certain specific crime scenes which require a supervisor, even if they're not working, we have to page them out. It's always, I work the midnight shift, 10:30 at night to 7 in the morning. And if you had one of those types of crime scenes, say an officer involved shooting, aggravated assault on an officer, a homicide, which was known to be a homicide at that time, we'd have to do the certain protocols we have, and you would have more than one, hopefully, that would come out because there's several different things that you would do more administratively with regards to that scene.
And because of the nature of this incident and call, how many individuals from the crime scene unit responded?
One, me.
And when you left the other South Nashville scene, was there still work going on that one?
I don't recall. I believe usually when it's a death scene, non-suspicious death, once the medical examiner who usually calls us out there, I'll clear with them. You don't need anything else from me. Once they say they don't need anything else, I'll leave.
And did you go directly from that scene to the Road?
I did.
And you recall approximately what time you arrived at 1522 Lebanon Pike?
I believe I originally had the call at 1:35 in the morning, and I arrived there a little after 2 a.m.
And Were you familiar with that location?
Oh.
Having been there previously?
Familiar with the location, and I'd actually grown up probably less than a tenth of a mile down the road from that location.
So when you arrived, describe what you observed with respect to law enforcement presence.
Right, there was multiple law enforcement there, police, different bosses within the homicide unit were there. I said the main point of contact I had was with Chris Dickerson. I arrived on the scene, they identified, Detective Reese has been the lead detective. Initial thing I'll do, I'll get out and immediately write down on what we call an ID work form. It just denotes the date, time. It's usually the initial photograph you were taking, a series of photographs for that scene. I fill that out, and before I even get in, I meet with, Detective Reese meets me, take possession of a comforter and a washcloth that were in a double bag trash bag. Note the date and time that I accepted that property, placed it in my van and secured it. Then I'll go on into the scene. Once I go into the scene, there's several detectives in the scene. I talk to them, find out again, confirm what exactly they need from me, what exact steps are they looking for. In this case, it was to collect certain items that they identified and to photograph the apartment, which is what I did.
Now, ask more about this perhaps later on, get to the actual physical items, but with respect to receiving that comforter in the plastic trash bag, where did that transfer from Detective Reese to you take place?
It was in the parking lot before I walked in.
And was Detective Reese therefore already out in the parking lot with the bag?
It was, yes.
And Lee, you said you took it and secured it?
Yeah, I did.
And did you have a vehicle crime scene investigation?
I did. It was a marked Metro Police Department suicide crime scene van. I think they were Chevy 1500s.
And did the item or items remain in the vehicle, locked in the vehicle while you processed the apartment?
Yes.
No. What did you do initially upon going to apartment 107?
Initially, like I do always, I go in, confirm the information from the detectives in there, what they wanted from me. They pointed out the items that they wanted collected. I then took the camera and began my process of photographing the apartment as requested. And usually I'll start right through the front door and just try to tell a story, taking photographs of the entire scene and walking through, taking overall photos, generally at first, and then going back through and taking mid-range and close-up photographs of whatever evidence there is. But that's my initial step, is to photograph the scene as I find it.
Had you ever been inside apartment 107 prior to that early morning hour?
No, sir.
And upon stepping across the threshold or looking in?
Uh-oh. Okay, we're going to take a quick pause there because I want to say a few things. So hopefully you guys can hear me. Everything's fine. Maud, let me know that the sound is clear. Thank you very much. So some of the things we need to be looking for, and, it's been a little interesting. I love when we have evidence discrepancies, but here's, we're going to have a cross-examination moment where the defensive counsel goes through the apartment almost item by item. And there are some things that were very odd or uncomfortable with the prosecution. And I kid you not, it was. So some of the things to look for and points to kind of watch out for as we're going into this. There was no food samples collected in a potential poisoning case. You would think that they would collect samples of the food. None of the food was sampled. Then they had a pink cup near the sink that was never collected. Starting to remind me of another case. And if you know what it is, put it down in the bottom below. Then we have a cup on the nightstand, like I said, that was not even not collected or even swabbed. So there's a pink cup near the sink, one on the nightstand that wasn't even swabbed. Then we have the Blink camera. It was never even collected, and Terry was never asked to collect it. Those are two major, major deals there, guys. So, I mean, 4 major deals. So just kind of in the next 15, 20 minutes, kind of keep an ear out for that. We will start jumping and dropping some segments that are just dead space and not important. We haven't got there yet. So, but let's keep an eye out for those, and let me know your comments below what you think about that. Okay, come on. I got too many windows open. It's not functioning with me. They had a little bit of a camera problem. We're gonna
Stepping across the threshold or looking.
That's them and not me, y'all. Let me see if I can zoom past. Everybody had technical days today. Not just me. I don't feel so bad, y'all. Let me get it up. You know how it goes. They had their little boo.
Stepping across the threshold or looking.
Really? There we go.
Our faculty request they be used to make somebody did it, request public statement.
Okay.
Mr. Terry, you referenced a few minutes ago about there being, the first photograph would be usually the work order. Is that what we're seeing here?
That's correct, yes, sir.
And what is the information contained on that document?
What it contains is the date and the time the series of photographs begins, the complaint number for that particular incident that I'm out on, what type of call, the 10 code for that victim. I didn't have the Ms. Benning's information at that time, so UAT means unknown. The address where we're at, the scene, and who requested us, along with my name.
Trying to find me on the other
Now, with
side.
respect to the complaint number, I'm sure you may have heard a little about that before, but is that a unique identifying number?
It is. Complaint number is specific to each individual incident that the police department gets called to, or they do a report on, or most everything they have to do with. The 23 just denotes the year, and the rest of it, like in this case, 120532, it's the 120,000 plus complaint number issued so far that year.
And what, if any, significance does that have with respect to your work as a crime scene investigator and the collection of evidence?
Everything I do, all the paperwork I submit, including the evidence that I collect, it's all packaged and stored at the property room under that complaint number. All the paperwork is associated with that complaint number.
And I believe you said earlier that one of the things you do is speak with the detectives, have an idea of what might be relevant in the nature of the call. Is that correct?
That's correct, and that's definitely the complaint number. We always want to make sure we're on the same page, the complaint number they have, because everything they do gets tied into that complaint number too. Just make sure we have the same complaint number.
And based on getting that information, were there items that you were looking for based upon what the detectives had advised you?
Yeah, correct, yes.
And next photograph, what are we seeing here?
This is just the initial external photograph of where Ms. Benning left the building. Just a close-up of the sign denoting the building and what apartments are in that building.
And if we're standing looking at,
So does that mean there's 4 stories tall? Who would want to live on the 4th floor? Raise your hand if you want to live on the 4th floor. Oh God, no. We don't have anything more than 2 floors here.
that 1540 in the apartments, where would the person be who is taking that photograph?
Outside.
And it's the parking lot.
Yes. Correct. It's just a close-up, still outside of the apartment number.
Now, do you recall it was 107 on the first or second?
To be on the first level.
Comfort break.
Just a photograph of the external door going into the apartment 107.
Maybe we've already covered this, but was the door open or closed when you first walked up to it?
When I walked up to it, it was unlocked. Yes.
Okay. And so did you pull it back to the take this photograph?
That, I don't recall if the bell at the door was propped open. I believe it was shut when I first arrived and took the photograph. I don't recall.
And the reason I ask that is once you entered, were there officers inside as you were taking your photographs?
There were, I think a couple of homicide unit detectives were in there.
Right, now, we go on to the next photograph. What are we seeing and where are we in the apartment?
Yeah, this is immediately as you come in the door, the first photograph. Captures part of the kitchen because the apartment, the way it's set up, you walk directly into the kitchen, the door. So that's the first photograph I take, because if you're walking into the door, this is what I see. Again, a little better flash. Just kind of working my way around the room. Same location, just shifted a little bit more to the right.
And with respect to the counter, the island area there, were there items of interest to you?
There were, yes.
And what were those?
The items of interest that have been identified to me by the homicide unit were the two bottles, the Minute Maid and the V8 splash bottle there in middle. This glass, which was half filled with clear liquid, and this glass, which was empty.
With respect to where that Minute Maid and the other bottle had been before you entered, are you aware of where they were?
I was advised that those bottles had been placed on the counter by the homicide unit who had removed them from the refrigerator.
Clear. I'll put it. And we'll go to the
This is just a photograph of the island at the center of everything.
And when I asked a few minutes ago if there were homicide detectives inside
Yes.
while you were working,
There's one of them there to the right.
at that time, based upon the information you had, did the paintings, like a better term there on the island, have any significance to you?
No,
Did you consider them to be evidentiary matters to be collected?
not from the information I had at that time, or just from looking at it, I didn't see anything of value.
And in this, again, you're saying you're panning or taking views from different angles, is that correct?
Yeah, it's just where I stand in the same spot initially, and I'll just kind of slice the room up like a pie and just go around from one corner to the other corner.
And you made pie, that never said the word pie, that made me think, did you see any food?
There was on top of the stove and the pan, there were cookies, baked cookies.
Did you notice any security camera surveillance inside the apartment? Now, the director's attention to where David Matt is.
Yeah, I had to think that for the second. Just, yeah, right there in the corner, right there. Right next to Detective Mathis's right elbow.
Okay. Could you circle that?
Sure.
Did that appear to be activated or?
No, from what I recall, no.
Reference the cookies?
Yes.
Are they in this photograph? If you could circle.
Sure.
And to the right of the cookies, did that also appear to be food items?
It did. I don't recall looking inside. They're right there, the Tupperware containers.
And again, with the same sort of question, did those have any evidentiary value with respect to anything that you knew about this case?
No, sir.
And close-up view of what previously looked at, is that correct?
That's correct.
You recall whether there were any dirty dishes in the sink or?
I don't recall any, no.
And again, more of a close-up of what we've already discussed, is that correct?
Correct, yes, sir.
Okay, I just want to ask you a quick question. If you were an investigator and there was a potential poisoning, would you collect all that food? I'm struggling with the fact that you have cookies, which is a good way to hide some bad things. You have all this other food over here. I can't quite tell what it all is. I'm struggling as to why did they not collect it? What are your thoughts? Leave them in the comments below. Thanks for joining us.
Now, in looking at the cookies, there appear to be one missing.
Appears to be two missing.
Two.
There's 2 cookies missing. I mean, I noticed that, but that's a good point. You have 2 cookies missing, and you have somebody potentially having an allergic reaction, or possibly, as he was saying, but you're looking at possible potential poisoning. 2 cookies missing. I would have grabbed the cookies right away, in my humblest of opinion.
And where is this?
Grab the trash.
Is this still Detective Mathis in the background?
Yeah, it is. It just shows just down from there, the position of where the trash can was in relation to the rest of the kitchen, and just shows a more complete photograph of the kitchen.
Oh, that's right,
Photograph
she was
of
doing
the
arts.
kitchen island just from the opposite side.
Yeah, they should have angelized.
Close up of the glass that was identified to me by the homicide unit and the clear liquid inside.
And was that one of the items that were later collected?
It was, yes. This photograph of the Minute Maid bottle and the V8 splash bottle, again, that had been identified by the homicide unit as things they wish collected. Close up of those same 2 bottles. That's a close up of the empty drinking glass that was also identified by the homicide unit as something they wanted collected.
Other than what we're seeing.
Again, I would have collected everything here. I even would have collected the glass that had the paint in it, the paintbrushes in it. It's better to collect everything than to not collect and leave evidence sitting on the counter, so to speak. I'm a little bit shocked.
Being here on the island, do you recall whether there were any other drinking glasses on any other counter or elsewhere?
I'm sure there was. I don't recall seeing any that homicide believed warranted my attention, or I didn't see any that had any liquids in it or looked to be recently used.
Wow.
Just close up of the same glass.
Now, to the left of the, as we're looking at it, glass, does there appear to be a piece of paper?
Right there, it looks like it's instructions for the card game Uno. It's just an overall shot of the living room area. This is a shot from the living room, looking into the bedroom.
Do you recall how many bedrooms there were in this apartment?
There's 2. 2 bed, 2 bath.
And which one are we looking into now?
It's the only one that had a bed in it. I assume that was Miss Denning's room. It's the one, if you're facing, it's on the right of the living room if you're facing the living room. This was the initial view. As you walk through the door, you're right in the door frame of the bedroom. And again, like before, this is to my immediate left, and I will rotate around with the photographs, just basically corner to corner.
Now, with respect to the blinds, were they in that condition as in being pulled down and closed when you entered?
Yes, what you're seeing in these photographs is how it was when I first witnessed it, when I first saw it.
Okay, here's the interesting thing. Don't forget the witness from yesterday, a woman, the best friend, came in and the blinds were open. There was a camera facing out. And then the camera that she picked up and put back in the kitchen where it was supposed to be. Couldn't believe she tampered with evidence, but she's thinking that's where it's supposed to be. That's where it's supposed to be. She moves the camera back because if the guy came, the defendant came back into the apartment, that camera being in the kitchen would catch all of that. It wouldn't catch the bedroom and bathroom, but it caught everything else. And the blinds are now closed. That's why he's asking that question. For those of you who were not with us yesterday.
Again, just the opposite corner, showing part of the bed and the window. Again, just rotating around a side of the bed.
Okay, they've already taken the quilt out, the comforter out. Because that was on
Again,
the foot of the bed.
rotating around to the opposite corner and showing the door to the walk-in closet.
With respect to the glass, the drinking utensil there on the end table, did that have any significance?
No.
And in fact, did you collect anything from the bedroom?
No, the only thing I collected was there on the island, per what homicide instructed and what they wanted.
Okay, I want you to listen for something. Here's a note I took. The defense used the word contaminated. Now, Terry's going to push back hard, but listen to what he ultimately concedes. Quote, it could have happened. Listen.
I want to ask before we leave the nightstand, in any area of the bedroom, did you see a weapon?
There is one. The shot doesn't show it. I think one of the shots me coming out of the closet will show it, but there is one.
And where was it?
Like I said, you can't see it, but you'll see it in a different photograph. It's right in there. It's a pistol in the holster. You'll see the top end of it.
I believe we will, as you say, get to it in a moment.
Yes, I think it's the series after I photograph in the closet, turn back around and take more photographs. It's just the door to the walk-in closet. Just from the door, a view of the walk-in closet.
And did you, like their term, search that to any extent?
I visually searched it. No, I visually searched it, looked through it. Again, the homicide unit detectives were the one executing the search warrant and it's signed off.
And were you directed to collect anything from there?
No, sir. It's just the closet floor. Just working my way up to the what's on the hangers in the closet and the top of the closet. This is just me coming back out of the closet facing the bedroom. And again, just a photograph of the nightstand.
And
Should be the next one.
yes,
And there, it's just an overall of the nightstand and what's around, and this is what we was talking about earlier.
did you, excuse me, circle that?
Right there.
Did that have any
There's the
evidentiary
pow-pow.
value as far as you were?
Okay, right there is the lead shooter. And what is in this Yeti style tumbler. There is a liquid, it almost looks like milk. It's a white liquid in the tumbler. And no, they did not collect it.
Concern.
No, it wasn't a shooting scene. There was no allegation that anyone had been shot or any gun had been used. Someone's private weapon. Didn't make any sense. There was no reason to collect it.
Was there anything illegal about it?
No.
Now, the item, see an item, I guess it would be a little, in the photograph down, like the straps. What was that, you know?
I believe it was an Apple Watch or an Apple-esque type watch.
And again, at that time, based upon information, did it have any evidentiary value as far as being collected?
No, nothing was said to me, no.
Now, the bottle with the yellow top, you recall what that was?
It was a supplement. I don't remember exactly what the supplement was off the top of my head.
And the item to the right of the yellow top bottle?
Looks to be a candle next to a half-eaten package of peanut butter M&Ms, a Sharpie pen, and an adapter.
And now you was walking out of the closet, correct?
Correct. Again, just a different series of photographs there, just from a different angle. Again, that was at the door, bedroom door facing out. Just to the left before you walk out, there's a door on the left that was the bathroom in the bedroom. That's what this is.
Recall how many bathrooms there were?
2.
So this is the one off the,
One off the, what they would call the master bedroom, yes. Just as you walk through the door, just a photograph of the tub and the initial photographs of the bathroom.
and appeared to be anything out of the ordinary in the bathroom.
No, not at all. Again, just same series, just different angle. Same bathroom, different angle.
Well, that's kind of cute.
Yes. Mr. Terry, when Detective Reese gave you the...
They have court tomorrow morning. They have court on Saturday. Angel Eyes, you already knew. You should have told me. Oh my God, they have court tomorrow morning. We'll get it all caught up. Don't worry, we're good.
plastic bag comforter, did you open it up and look at it?
I'm going to make this 1.5 speed. It's too slow.
And what, if anything, was within the white bags, trash bags?
There was a blue comforter and a yellow washcloth.
So did you, in looking through the apartment, see anything similar to the washcloth that was in the bag?
Yeah, it looked similar to those up there. I just close up with the sink in that same bathroom.
Did anything strike you as being unusual or
No, just
evidence?
it's spotless, but very clean. That's the only thing.
What,
This
your
is
house
from the
isn't?
door of the.
It's very clean. Does that mean your house is not? I mean, not everybody's houses are pigsties.
Miss Denning's bedroom facing the other bedroom through the living room. Just the other bedroom from the door looking in. Again, just rotating around the room. This is a corner of that same room. Again, just rotating to the right, different, covers the right corner of the room.
Did you go through any of the, like that hamper, or look at the magazines?
Just cursory glance. I know that one had something to do with pregnancy and becoming pregnant.
Was there a, you may have answered this or said this, but was there a bed in that second bedroom?
No, there was not. 2 chairs, like some baby clothes and mops, which we'll see here in a second.
And are we still in that second bedroom?
Now, I think we skipped some photographs there. Because this is facing the bedroom from inside the walk-in closet attached to the second bedroom.
So did you spend any great significant amount of time in that second?
Yeah, photographed it from a couple of different angles, yes. There we go. Photograph from inside the closet
Oh,
or from
baby
the door
dear.
leading into the attached walk-in closet.
Real sad.
Did you see in that bedroom or that closet any items that would be associated with a baby?
Oh, yes. You have a couple of baby odors. I think that was a walker. When you'll see on additional photographs over here on the side, you're going to show some boxes with, I think, with diapers and formula.
It's just the,
the bathroom attached to the second bedroom and the second walk-in closet. Same, just the toilet, counter. The walk-in closet, again, just showing what's on the top shelf.
okay, I believe you reference Pampers or those.
Yeah, there's some Pampers over here. It shows the far corner from the bedroom looking into the walk-in closet. This was on that shelf that I just took. You got some wipes, some formula, diapers, different items relating to childcare. Infant.
When you're pregnant, you can sign up for a bunch of free stuff, and companies will send you, sample kits of diapers and formulas, and full size, but they send samples. That's exactly what this looks like, because you can tell by the multiples. Yeah, that's what this looks like. But God almighty, hi, Georgia girl forever and always. Court TV has their live set for tomorrow, the 27th, because judge told them to report. And where? Yeah, I just saw that. So we got court. They got court tomorrow. I've got to work tomorrow. I'm going to be 2 hours away working out of town.
Here.
But we'll catch up. Promise.
Again, just some items on the floor. Looks like something else from Pampers down in the box below.
Oh, it breaks my
This
heart.
is the walk-in closet from the bathroom facing back into the bedroom.
I think she
that
was
same
like
corner
5 to
just shows
6
what's on the
months
shelf.
pregnant.
And what shows below. It's like that was a walker
Stroller.
/ car seat for an infant.
The rocking thing. Oh.
Just more of a close-up view of those same two walkers and baby carrier seat.
Did you look in any of those tubs or the ice chest?
I did not know.
Angel Eyes, you fludged it. You said the 28.
So, finish the
You're
photography
good, Angel
part.
Eyes.
What comes next?
Hey,
What comes
honey,
next
if you're
is
there,
to
say hello.
do the evidence collection.
And are there any procedures or protocols that you adhere to in collecting items of evidence?
Yeah, you always want to take whatever precautions you can, such as wearing protective gloves, making sure they're separated, having whatever mode whatever you're putting it in. In our case, depending on what it is, it's usually a paper sack. So have that available.
And did you follow that process and procedure in this case?
I did. This was a little unique in that you had fluids. Normally, when it comes to any kind of fluids, we'll just do a swab of it. In this case, I thought it was more important to get a larger sample of it. So the clear liquid in the drinking glass, I put like in a little plastic vial that we have that's specific for liquids, called liquid collections. I did that, then I collected everything else as a whole, but it was in separate bags. You denote the time and the date that you actually take possession of it, that you take custody of it, and you make sure that's marked down also.
And is that actually placed on the bag or whatever the evidence is placed in?
It is, along with the complaint number, where it was obtained from, what exactly is in that individual sack, and date time.
Council has seen these items before, but I can bring the box over if I want to look again. Okay, thank you.
Y'all don't forget to subscribe and like. I appreciate you so much.
Take a
Thank
minute,
you.
but I can have these items passed up to Mr. Terry one at a time. Actually, let me pull it over here, this way I can show you which one.
Uh-oh, we're going to start opening bags. Question. Quick verbal poll. Put a 1 if you think he's going to put gloves on when he opens the bags, the witness on the witness stand. 2 if you think he's going to use bare hands. It's always a debate. It's always something that people always comment about. They didn't use gloves or they used gloves. Well, do you think he's going to use gloves? Put a 1. If you don't think he's going to use gloves, put a 2.
If I could ask this, I don't, maybe we'll go here anyway. Mr. Harry, you're being handed an item package in a paper bag. Can you look at that and tell us by the markings and identification whether or not you recognize that?
Yes, this was the packaging for clear drinking glass, and I have it denoted on the bottom inside the box. That wasn't recovered at the scene. That was just a means of safely packaging it within here to make sure it didn't break.
So it was a glass.
Yes, yes, sir.
All right, that's that being addition to the next number 2.
Thank you, Georgia girl, forever and always. Thank you, boo.
This is the glass that previously held the liquid. And the reason I know that is because I put that on the bag just to differentiate the other one that was empty when we found it. One thing I didn't talk about earlier is the way we know is, again, complaint number, type of call them out on, the address where it's recovered, date,
So they did collect it, but they didn't send it off.
time it's recovered, and exactly
do a
what's inside the
comfort
box. This tape is done by the lab, so is that. The initial tape is called integrity tape to make sure no one has opened this. After I sealed it, the way you know that is from the integrity tape, plus I put my initials and the date that I sealed this.
That'd be exhibit 18.
This looks to be the Minute Maid pink lemonade bottle, which at this point was empty. The V8 Splash fruit medley bottle that are in here, and they would have been put in separate sacks within this sack.
You recover something that has liquid in it. What is done with?
The liquid, it's once it's packaged like everything else, packaged and put in the property room because the detectives decide what testing is needed, what they want to be looked for. Because this is, at the time, we didn't know exactly, or I wasn't aware what drug or if a drug had been involved. This packaged in the way that we would normally package any type of drug, which is in a clear bag, and it's double bagged for safety.
Test these 3 and do them individually, but the same unit. Sherry, you're being handed 3 packages. I want to deal with them individually.
Sure.
Those necessary sequence with the check with those and see if you recognize.
Yes, these are the vials of the various liquids that I recovered.
Let's start with the one in your left hand.
Sure.
What does that contain?
This is a sample of the liquid from the water glass, the clear liquid from the water glass.
All right, ask that be introduced as exhibit 20. Now, we can go ahead and get it, just so that they'll get it. And the next one,
This is the sample I collected from the V8 Splash bottle.
does it contain the appropriate markings and identification?
It does, like the other bags. These bags are specific where they were basically to open one of these, you basically have to disintegrate it. I mean, it rips open. It's not a clean rip. So when we seal it, we still put our initials on the back just to show that when it was sealed.
All right, yes, that be introduced as exhibit 21. And then the third.
Third one is a sample of the liquid collected from the Minute Maid bottle.
Same identification, same complaint number?
Same identification, same complaint number, same information. My name's on it, definitely my handwriting and initials. on the back.
Now, talk about the item you received from Detective Reese.
Yes.
Did you process that, or you said you looked at it, saw a comforter and washcloth? Did you process it with respect to packaging, or repackaging there at the scene?
At the scene, no, it was transported as is to our office, CSI office on Mott Drive in Madison.
And what, if anything, did you do with those items there?
With those items, we call them drying cabinets. They're just the big cabinets that you put things in that has air that circulates around, that helps dry wet items. Because from my understanding, there had been substance on the comforter, placed it inside the drying cabinet to ensure it was dry, because if you turn in articles of cloth or most anything, and you package it wet, it can mildew and mold over time, which can compromise and contaminate evidence.
And with respect to the trash bags?
Those are packaged separately. They came with the comforter and are packaged separately.
I guess this item, the witness.
Yeah. This contained the yellow washcloth and the white trash bags, and they were packaged in here separately. It's just not everything's free flowing, contacting each other. They're packaged separately within this one package.
Or that's that be introduced. And work my way around to this item. But my approach was.
Okay.
Okay. Now, does the big box have anything really to do with it, other than?
No, the big box doesn't. Inside is the bag. We have gloves. I'll pick it up, pull it out. I don't have any.
You wanting to?
Do you need me to
Well, I
lift
think
it
a
up?
paper bag, not, but I'm gonna ask you to open it and get down to the actual comforter.
You want gloves for the?
Yes, sir. So it's not gonna lift it out.
What is the significance of any of the red?
The red, these bags are used to package things which might contain a biohazard, blood, semen, anything, any bodily type fluid or anything of an unknown. That's what that's for, because they're labeled on here, biohazard on that side. This is the bag and where we place the comforter for packaging, just due to its size. On here is the same information as the other bags: complaint number, type of call, location, date, time collected, and what's exactly in here. Also have the complaint number written on there. No, you can't see it on here. My name is on the integrity tape and initialed also.
Yes, that's introduced as the next one, exhibit 24. And council has no objection, except the outside box has no relevance, but might leave it in that for the sake of. Thank you. Court's permission asked that this small photographs be passed to the witness. All right. Terry, you just take a look at those and see if those correspond to the markings and labels on the comforter and trash bag exhibit that you previously discussed.
It is.
You need to mark it up.
Yes, just put these on,
Okay.
if I can publish these briefly. And what's this photograph of?
It's a photograph of that same bag I just showed you, containing the blue comforter.
Of the markings on the bag?
Yes.
And this, the,
Yeah, that's just something placed on there by our property room. Basically, the information provided on here is the same thing that I place on that entered into the property sheet that accompanies the property.
can I ask you about that? The property room, we talked about a drying cabinet at Defiant Drive, your office.
Yes.
What is and where is the property room?
Property is behind East Precinct off Trinity Lane, huge building behind there.
And is it, what it,
Georgia, did I call you boo? I didn't mean to offend you. That's kind of a fun thing I say a lot. I apologize.
It is what it says. It's not manned 24 hours, and on our shift, working midnight, they have an officer, what's called officer's workroom that contains various and numerous lockers of various sizes that we can store the recovered property in and lock it up, and they're the only ones that have keys to the locks.
and is the property then remain there until it's needed, either to be sent for examination or court?
Yes, that is where it stays.
It's just a photograph, again, the labeling of the comforter. And does that show the date and time you received it from Detective Reese?
Yes, it's worded the exact same as I listed this item, the blue comforter on my property sheet.
And then photograph of the outside of the trash bag that previously been introduced, is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
And the, you can see perhaps a little close-up of the labeling for that bag, is that correct?
Just the property label is placed on it as the property room, containing the same information, containing the washcloth collected from Detective Reese at 0219 hours on the 27th of February.
If I could return these to the clerk. There's the next number.
Okay, we're getting into the part about the crime lab scene testing, the various liquid substances, and here is what was found in, and I believe more importantly, how it was explained. Basically, I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm paying close attention to the labs, because there were some things that were sent to the lab, like the comforter and the washcloth was sent to a third-party lab, was not tested there. There was almost zero controlled substance in anything she tested. There was zero controlled substances found anywhere. And a lot of people who are abusing it and breaking it up, and unless they're just popping it like a pill, a lot of times you're going to find the residue. And then also washing a glass with water before submission could have removed any substance from that glass. So there you go. Let's watch and listen.
Collection, packaging, processing, is that your responsibilities in this case?
Collecting and packaging, yes, I do not. If you want to use terms such as photographing, the actual processing, I do not do.
So after your job is done, it goes to someone else.
That's correct. Whatever requests are made from the homicide detectives, it'll follow the property to the lab, and that's where the testing is completed. At this point, once I have everything turned in, packaged, paperwork complete, my involvement in the case ends until usually I don't hear anything about it. I don't get notified of results. Usually the only time I know that a case has come through fruition is when I get notified 3 or 4 years later for court. And that's where I learn the result of the testing and anything like that. But as soon as this part of it is done for me, that's my involvement is over.
You're on to the next call.
Yes, sir.
What I wanted to ask about, we went through a lot of photographs of that apartment.
Mm-hmm.
2 bedroom, 2 bath. Throughout looking and photographing that apartment, did you see any alcoholic beverage?
I did not,
Or
no.
any alcoholic beverage containers?
No, sir.
Did you see anything of drugs, any?
I don't recall. I can't remember if there was a No, I don't believe so. No, I was fixing, I can't remember if there was a pill bottle on the nightstand or not.
Please, it's a supplement.
Yes,
But with respect to, have you worked scenes where there have been drugs?
I have, yes.
And you worked scenes that really didn't involve drugs, but there were drugs there?
Yes,
Is that something you would notice and document?
yes.
And as far as any drug paraphernalia, right, pipe, blunts, whatever, if you see anything like that there?
I did not.
Okay.
I don't know if this comes with a medication or not, but did you say an EpiPen or anything
No, I did
like
not.
that?
No, sir.
There at all? And I believe where you asked about body with camera and videoing
Yes.
while you're there, but do you do that while you're packaging the evidence?
No. Again, the purpose of body-worn camera is your interaction with the public. It would only be on if I'm actually out performing police duties, a traffic stop, or I decide because I'm a sworn officer, I would answer a call, back up another officer, then it would go on like normal, but not there, no.
Fine, questions? Have Mr. Taylor.
Thank you. May I see exhibit 16 and exhibit 25?
25.
Morning, is Officer Terry still the appropriate?
Mr. Terry, Jason, either or is fine.
Okay. So, I'm not going to say Officer Terry, since it feels appropriate here in this
Yes, sir.
setting.
Yes, sir.
Officer Terry, you clearly have a lot of experience as a trained officer doing these kind of investigations. And part of your training and experience, you're trained for thoroughness in these kind of investigations. Is that fair?
Yeah, based upon the information that's provided to me, yes.
Sure, you're provided information and then you're trained to execute on that information in as thorough a manner as possible, right?
We try, yes.
And part of that is to gather anything that might be potential evidence, right?
Based on the information we have, yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
And this is particularly true when we know it's a very serious case, right?
Potentially, yes.
And at this point in time, in this case, you had been communicating with Detective Reese, who's a homicide detective, right?
Yeah, and I talked with Sergeant Dickerson from homicide.
Who's also from homicide.
Yes.
Right? So you knew that this was potentially a homicide investigation.
Potentially, yes, just due to the, yes,
They were treating it as if it might be a homicide investigation. Is that fair?
yes.
Usually homicide doesn't get involved if this is something that might not be treated as a homicide investigation. Is that fair?
And not necessarily, if it's something of importance, of something they need, the homicide guys are generally considered the best detectives around. They will, something an unknown such as this, initially, it can go to them, yes.
But the information you have is that they were concerned about it being a poisoning. Is that
Possible ingestion of poison, or in this case, a drug.
that might have been something like a homicide, right?
It could have been, yes.
So in that situation, everybody is kind of trying to do their absolute best job, right?
Yes.
Preserve the most evidence possible.
Preserve what we can, yes.
And so that information that you had was, we look for anything that could be related to potential poisoning, right?
Based on, yes, what homicide detectives have told me.
And of course, you're taking directive from Detective Reese. Is it Sergeant or Lieutenant Dickerson?
I don't know what his rank is now.
Right. Chris Dickerson,
Thank
right?
you. Yes.
Okay. So you're taking directive from those two in terms of what you should be focusing on.
Right, correct.
And obviously, if you see something that sticks out to you, you're going to collect that as well.
Yes, I'm gonna ask about it. If it's in the information they have, it's a relative, I'll ask that.
And you have some, in particular, since you're a very experienced officer, you have some leeway to collect additional things that maybe appear important to the case, right?
Oh, yeah, I would definitely talk to them about it because they're the one executing the search warrant. But yes, of course, I would talk to them about it.
So your kind of limitations are you don't collect anything without their approval.
No, I don't need their approval, but like I said earlier, it's their scene. It's their responsibility regarding, because they're in charge of the investigation. And I would talk to them about it, let them know we have this might be something we need to collect or we don't. I would talk to them about it if there was any kind of conflict. That's a really good team over there on the homicide unit. I've worked with them several times. So that wouldn't be an issue in communicating, but I would definitely want them to know I'm just not going to arbitrarily start grabbing stuff. So yeah, it would be discussed with them.
But ultimately, they give the yay or nay on what you're collecting.
They can. I mean, I can collect it anyway, but yeah, they can give the yay or nay because like I said, they're the ones that have all the available knowledge that you can at that time because they talk to everyone involved. So, I trust what they're saying.
So the information that you have is potential poisoning, potentially drugs were involved, and we need to collect things that could be related to that information.
Right, and potentially a pink liquid.
Pink liquid.
Yes.
And you knew you were directed to collect the clear glasses, right?
Yes.
And the pink liquids.
Yes.
Before we get into the specific things that you collected, I'm going to put a kind of pin in that.
Yeah.
Did you have information that people had already been to that apartment before you had been there?
Yes.
What information did you have about that?
That just, I think family and friends had gone in previously, documented what they saw inside and collected a comforter and packaged that comforter.
So you're understanding that that was kind of in coordination with law enforcement?
No, not with us, no.
In your experience in working homicide cases, serious cases, is that kind of what you want in a scene?
No, it's not preferred, no.
What would you prefer to see?
I would prefer that we have the initial access, just if for nothing else, how things are collected, packaging, the order in which it's done. That's much more preferred. It's a much more way to keep everything secure.
What concerns does that raise for you?
Several different concerns, but just generally the security of the crime scene.
When you say security, what does that mean? Because that sounds like a specialized kind of term.
No, security of the crime scene just means that the crime scene itself remains as pristine as possible.
It's pristine, like nothing's been moved.
So for those of you who are new or haven't been following this case, what happened is her best friend and her mom went in to the apartment before the police had their chance to come in and do the investigation. They removed the comforter. They looked around for vomit, which they said they did not find. She moved a camera from a window ledge that faced kind of out towards the outside and put it back in the kitchen on the kitchen counter where it was supposed to have been. And she said they didn't really touch anything they didn't have to touch, but in all honesty, this crime scene is now fully contaminated. It is not pristine, and I don't know if they did yet. I haven't heard, but I would be interested to know, did they test the DNA of the two women that went in case they needed to determine basically that they were there or not? I was curious. I haven't heard that they've done that. We've had other cases in the past where people have gone into a crime scene right after a crime or were there right after a crime and they DNA tested them and did all this, but I haven't heard of anything like that happening in this case. Let's keep watching. We'll see if they say that.
Nothing's been touched inadvertently?
Correct, yes.
Because you want to see an exact snapshot of how something that's supposedly a crime scene was at the time, right?
Yep.
As close as you can.
That makes your job, your ability to collect and preserve evidence, you can do it exactly how it was at the time.
Yes, as close as possible. Yes.
As close as possible.
Yes, sir.
Sure. Did you have access to any videos or anything of what happened when people were at the apartment before you went?
No.
Were you given a description of what occurred when the people went to the apartment?
Just a brief description regarding, what exactly they did, yes.
Were you told how many times people went to the apartment?
No, I was just told that once, but I don't know if there was other times.
If you were processing the comforter, which we know was removed prior to your presence, how would you have handled the comforter?
After photographing it, doing the same sequence I would do with everything else, it would be placed probably at that point leaving the scene, just because comforters are somewhat difficult to package, and even the oversized bags, that wouldn't be done on scene. More likely it would be packaged on scene in a biohazard, one of those big red biohazard bags, and put in that and secured for transportation.
And are biohazard bags specialized?
Yeah, they're just, like I said, the big red bags that have biohazard on it.
So does that mean nothing can get in or out?
It's a trash bag, yeah. I mean, it has to be secured, but yes.
Is it different from like a store trash bag?
I'm not sure of the quality of it. To me, they might feel sturdier, but I really don't know.
Is it closed fully, like you tie fully off?
You have to tie it fully off, yes.
And that's your protocol?
Yes, well, yeah, that's what I would do.
You then put it inside of like a paper bag that's sealed?
Well, no, not for transport. I would just put it inside there, and generally, depending on the possible biohazard, and if there's a lot of liquid, if not, I will place it on some butcher paper that I kept inside the van, or absent the butcher paper, use some of those, the evidence bags, lay that down and set it on top of there.
If there was any kind of
Okay, before we go forward, I do want to make note that, and I didn't say, but I think it's important to note, before the young woman touched the comforter, before they moved anything, they photographed it. And then after she moved the camera, she photographed where she took it to. So she photographed the camera where it should not have been and put it back and photographed where it was and should have been. She photographed the comforter on the bed prior to removing it. So at least she did that. Why is that important? Because a lot of times when you got material that's folded up on itself or wadded up on itself and someone gets sick on it, or there's bodily fluid from red liquid stuff and things get on it and it overlaps and you can see the pattern of how it got there. But once you unfold it, getting it back to that original state so you can see, I mean, come on, there's been people who've been convicted based on bodily fluid patterns on bed sheets and comforters and blankets and pillows, because sometimes there's a silhouette, but not in this case. But the point being is she should have never touched it. She shouldn't have gone in there. She shouldn't have done any of this, but she was afraid that the boyfriend, i.e. the defendant, was going to go in there and mess with everything. She should have just let the police do the job, not be investigator herself. But at least she had enough knowledge or wits about her to photograph all that before she moved it. That did not help the case, though.
biological material like chunks of vomit, to be blunt, is that something you would collect independently?
No.
That would you just leave that on the comforter?
I would leave that. At best, I might do a swab, just to be on the safe side, but I would, no, that would lay us down the comforter.
I want to talk about, you're on permission to publish photographs from Exhibit 16 to the release. I want to ask you a few questions about some of the photographs that you took.
Yes, sir.
I agree with you 100%. They should have locked down that crime scene. But then again, understand that originally it was reported as an allergic reaction. So, yeah. I wish they would have just, the moment they picked her up, the police came, locked it down. Unfortunately, there was too much time in between, and the friends went in and contaminated the crime scene.
Okay, I don't know which letter this is, but this is a photograph of Detective Mathis and the island, it appears.
I believe so, yes.
Are you aware if those bottles were already on the island when police officers arrived at the scene?
Way it's described to me, and as I indicated in my crime scene report, they were placed there by the homicide detectives.
So potentially homicide detective, Detective Reese, and whoever he was working
Whoever was
with,
there, yeah.
went into the somewhere and took them out.
Yes.
You know where they took them out from?
I believe it was the refrigerator, from what I was told.
You didn't actually witness that.
No.
You don't know where in the fridge they took them out from?
No.
You don't know, do you know when they took them out?
No, not exactly, no.
You indicated you did not take samples of any of these food items. Is that
No,
right?
no.
So we didn't take samples of these cookies. Is that right?
Oh, yes, sir, that's correct.
Do we know what's inside this bowl right here? And this is a close-up photograph of the food.
Yeah, I believe from looking outside, it was gravy. I think the other one had some noodleish type thing in it, I believe, if I remember correctly.
If we had information in this trial that this was a chicken Alfredo dinner, is it possible that was Alfredo sauce?
Yeah, it was possible, yes.
But you did not take a sample of the Alfredo sauce.
I did not know.
And you did not take a sample of what looks like it could be spaghetti in here?
No, I did not.
And do you know what's inside these foil packs?
I don't recall. I'm thinking breadsticks, but I can't specifically recall.
So in a case that is potentially a poisoning case, none of the food items were collected.
No.
And that means, as far as you know, none of the food items were tested. Right?
They were not.
And that was a decision that Detective Reese made?
Collectively, they said, based on the information in the pink liquid being talked about, that they identified these liquids as what they want to collect.
At any point in time, did you have a discussion with Detective Reese and say, out of an abundance of caution, maybe we should collect a little bit of this?
I don't recall having that conversation.
Out of caution, I believe they should have collected all of it. Out of abundance of caution. Because once it's gone, it's gone. There's no
Just to
returning
orient
it.
everybody in the court reporter here, this is a picture of the island facing the sink.
Yes.
And next to the sink, do you see a sort of a pink cup with a top on it?
Yeah.
Yes, circle right there, thank you. Do you recall ever looking inside that pink cup?
I don't recall. That would be something I would have done, but I don't recall that. No.
And my understanding is you did not collect that pink cup?
I did not know.
Do you recall ever having a conversation with Detective Reese about collecting that pink cup?
No.
Do you recall attempting to take any kind of swab or anything out of that pink cup?
No.
And just because we're talking about swabs a little bit, it is potentially possible at crime scenes to get very, very trace amounts of evidence from surfaces, from cups, from other places. Is that right?
Yes.
Sometimes, especially in drug cases, I mean, drugs can leave like very, very small amounts can be found places, right?
Correct.
And so that was not something that was ever collected or tested. So
No. No.
Again, they're talking about residue. I got the song Xanadu in my head now. If you don't know it, look it up.
And this, to orient everybody, this is the picture kind of a bed and the nightstand. Is that right?
Oh, yes, sir.
And on the nightstand, I think it was mentioned earlier, there is another cup, right?
That's correct.
Do you remember ever looking or investigating the cup specifically?
Yeah, I don't believe there was anything inside.
Do you remember if you took a swab of the
I
cup?
did not.
Remember having a discussion with Detective Reese at any point in time about whether that cup should be collected?
No.
So that was never an item that was collected or preserved or tested so far as you're aware?
No.
Similarly, this is we noted some kind of supplement or something on the bedstand.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember looking inside the supplement bottle?
I did. I do remember looking inside. I don't remember it seeing anything out of the ordinary.
Okay, and there's no pictures in there, right?
No, there's not.
Do you know, down in this nightstand, there is a green item?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what that green item is?
I don't recall, no.
Next to the bed, there's
That
a
ain't
backpack.
good.
Yes,
At any point in time, did you look inside the backpack?
I did.
Okay, and there's no pictures inside the backpack?
No.
So that's not something that was necessarily preserved,
The backpack? No.
based on your investigation?
No.
This window, and this is in the bedroom picture of the window, you indicated that the shades were down. That's exactly how it was when you got there.
Yes.
Do you know, when you look out that window, what you're looking at?
I believe it's the balcony based upon a floor plan I've seen of those apartments over there. I believe it's the balcony.
Do you know what is behind the apartment complex?
That I do not. I'm trying to remember which side that was on. It could be, depending on which way it's facing. I don't
Is it a business?
If it could be, if it's on, if you're looking at the front of the building from the parking lot, it's to the left. There are businesses through there.
This photograph of the closet, I understand when you testified earlier, you looked inside the closet, but you did not do a thorough search of the closet.
No, it did not.
So here we have some little sort of like a jewelry box kind of thing with drawers. Is that right?
Appears to be, excuse me.
You didn't look inside the jewelry box drawers at all?
I did not.
We have sort of several clothing drawers that are maybe closed. It's hard to tell if the clothes are open. You didn't look inside any of those?
I did not.
Up top here, it appears that there are several boxes stacked up, maybe shoe boxes, kind of 2 rows deep at least. Is that correct?
It appears to be, yes.
Did you look inside any of those boxes?
I did not know.
Here there are like sort of cloth tubs almost. Did you pull any of those down and look inside any of those?
I did not know.
I think that you've done a lot of investigations and probably drug investigations. Are there a plethora of places inside this closet where drugs could be hidden?
It could be, yes.
So there was a question about, well, you didn't find any drugs in this house, but is it common for people to leave all of their drugs just sitting out every time?
No.
And this is a better picture of all the boxes that are up there, shoe boxes and stuff.
Yes, sir.
Just confirm, you didn't pull down and look at any of those,
I
right?
did not.
This bathroom, there's a number of drawers and cabinets in here. Is that right?
Yes,
I didn't notice any pictures inside any of the drawers or cabinets. Did you look inside there?
yes, that would be normal. Open the drawer or open the bottom. Yes.
Was there anything like a medicine cabinet or anywhere inside there?
No,
So even like things like Tylenol or Band-Aids or first aid kind of stuff, that wasn't in any of there?
I didn't notice any. They didn't have the traditional cabinet that you open from the mirror, that type of thing, no.
Did you find any spot in this apartment where that stuff was kept?
No, I don't recall it, no.
And here, and I think this is just a different angle, here we have like a cooler and some tubs.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
And you didn't look at any of those, did you?
No, so, I mean, the one on top, it was open, but other than that, no.
I want to know what happened to the kitty, because they had a kitty litter box in the closet. I don't know why. I want to know what happened to the cat.
I've got Mark's in. This is the picture in the kitchen facing Detective Mathis.
Yes, sir.
Okay? And there was a question here about this surveillance camera.
Yes, sir.
You did not collect that surveillance camera, did you?
No, I did not.
Were you provided any information prior to doing your work here that there was some concern about the surveillance camera?
No.
As part of your job as a crime scene investigator, do you occasionally have an opportunity to take fingerprint samples?
Yes.
And what does that process kind of entail?
Fingerprint samples involve just, like I said, it's fingerprint powder on the surface, depending on the surface. Then if there's any ridges and details, then lifting them with lift tape.
And you can't always get fingerprints from every surface, right?
Oh, no, sir. No, sir.
Sometimes. So, I mean, it looks like that in TV shows a lot, but it's often very tough, isn't it?
Correct, yes, sir.
But potentially, if there was an allegation that an item was moved by somebody, that could be a candidate for a fingerprint sample, couldn't it have been?
Could it be, based on your question? Yes.
Okay. But at no point in time were you asked to collect that security camera, were you?
I was not, no.
And so far as you're aware, that was not collected or processed.
Not by me. I don't know if it ever was, but not by me, no, sir.
Okay.
So, does it bring some concern to you, if you were on the jury, that the detectives did not collect said security camera? I don't know about you, but I would venture to say I don't know. I can say what I would do. For those of you who don't know, I am a criminal justice major. But if I was doing an investigation, I would think it would be prudent to collect all security cameras on property because, again, it's better to collect it than to lose it.
Straight out.
My humble opinion.
1 second, I have another couple of questions. Are you good?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, Angel Eyes.
I'm going to show you what's been previously marked as Exhibit 25C. This is a label
Yes, sir.
from the property room.
Okay.
In the bottom left corner, it indicates that it was received on 2/25/9/30.
That's the date of incident as listed on the 110 form is the property sheet. Because you have to list the date collected and the date of the incident. And that initial complaint number was for that date and time. I don't know why it's listed that way in the system.
Right. Yeah, that's not what it says. Is that right? It says received on?
Yes, correct.
And you don't know why it says that?
No, sir, I do not.
like the same officer Terry then, but
Yes, sir.
Mr. Terry, with respect to was the washcloth then tucked in with the comforter?
I believe so. I mean, I could see it in there, so I knew it was in there.
Counsel asked about the collection of evidence and you're trying to do your best job, correct?
Yes, sir.
And
Okay, I want to pause this and tell you that basically the defense is 1 minute. 1 minute. It may have been longer than that, but basically the defense 1 minute with this lab scientist is short. But listen to the answers to the questions. They are vitally, vitally important. You never know what's going to happen. 1 or 2 questions can
wearing
change the whole
gloves
case.
is one of the main things, correct?
Yes, sir.
In collecting evidence.
Yes, sir.
Asked about drugs and scenes of homicide. I believe you said was previous call you'd been on was drug related?
It was a death scene, and one of the things I recovered was, I believe it was a mirror that had some white powder on it.
Okay, I want to go back and see that again.
Asked about drugs and scenes of homicide. I believe you said was previous call you'd been on was drug related?
It was a death scene, and one of the things I recovered was, I believe it was a mirror that had some white powder on it.
And have you worked overdose deaths?
I have, yes.
And at those scenes, do you see paraphernalia, drugs?
Yes, if it's an overdose scene, generally the last drug they took or a portion of it or the packaging of it is going to be right there.
Anything like that whatsoever in this scene?
No, sir.
The counsel
Good
asked about
point.
the backpack that you looked in. Do you remember what was in it? Was anything?
I don't recall. It was nothing that stood out of being of value, so I don't recall what was in there.
Okay. Now, one thing as well, that was back to kind of doing the best job with the gloves. Unlike TV, perhaps, but do you wear like biohazard suits?
No, basically, I mean, there are certain criteria and protocol where we would, but 99.9% of the time, no, we do not.
Okay. And were you wearing one of those suits, biohazard suits at the previous incident that you went to?
No, it's not, no.
All right. And at this scene?
No,
I don't have
sir.
any pictures of you.
No, sir.
Okay. And did you change clothes from one scene to another?
No, sir.
Okay. And one of the things about wearing gloves, would that be to try as much as possible?
Sorry, goes back that up. That was important.
That you looked in?
Listen to that again.
Do you remember what was in it? Was anything?
I don't recall. It was nothing that stood out of being of value, so I don't recall what was in there.
Okay. Now, one thing as well, that goes back to kind of doing the best job with gloves. Unlike TV, perhaps, but do you wear like biohazard suits?
No, basically, I mean, there are certain criteria and protocol where we would, but 99.9% of the time, no, we do not.
Okay. And were you wearing one of those suits, biohazard suits at the previous incident that you went to?
No, I was not, no.
All right. And at this scene?
No,
I don't have
sir.
any pictures of you.
No, sir.
Okay.
Okay, so look, I wonder if he's going where I think he wants to go. This gentleman was at another red room scene prior to going and investigating this scene. He did not wear a biohazard suit at the first or the second scene. He did not change his clothes, shower, or clean. He wore the exact same clothes, the same shoes, the same everything. If they're lucky, he did. He changed gloves, but that is all. And I think the defense is going to try to hang their hat on a little bit of this.
And did you change clothes from one scene to another?
No, sir.
And one of the things about wearing gloves, would that be to try as much as possible to avoid contamination?
Yes.
Can that possibility be 100% humanly eliminated from any scene?
No, we can try our best to make it as unlikely as possible, but I cannot make it where it's impossible.
believe you said that folding the comforter into a bag is one of the difficult things.
Very difficult, yes.
And as you're doing that, do you have to,
You try your best not to make any direct contact with the comforter for a lot of different reasons. One, you don't want to contaminate anything on it. So it's one reason the more things are handled, I think, I don't want to mess anything up. And two, in a situation like that, I believe when I folded that up and put it in, I needed assistance from one of the other crime scene investigators to fold it up. Generally, you're holding it outside your body, trying to fold it up, roll it up in a correct way, in a tight enough way to make sure you can get it in the mouth of that sack. If not, there are tools there we have to actually build our own bags for these comforters.
going back to do the best you can?
Yes, sir.
Any other questions?
Yes, yes, sir. Thank you.
I know
Oh,
that
sorry.
this is not like everyone's wearing a
Redirect.
biohazard suit for
Sorry, redirect.
your part of this, but you were aware the scene was contaminated before you even got there, right?
Well, it depends. What's your definition of contaminated?
Well, it was in one of the detective's reports. I think that's his word. That
That's worst detective, and that's a term. Somebody just being inside to collect an article does not automatically mean contaminated scene. You look up any definition of crime scene contamination, if you can find one, and most everything in there has to deal with unintended transferring of physical or biological to a scene, or the unintended alteration of a scene. Their act was purposeful. It was the best way they knew how because they thought it was their only option.
you don't know if contamination occurred, do you?
I do not know, but you can't, that in of itself does not automatically, somebody's presence there does not automatically go, that's contamination.
Gotcha. But it could have been.
Could have, yes.
And the chances increase when there's civilians coming around the scene, right?
Civilians, first responders, basically medical examiners, anybody who goes in that scene has a potential, yes.
And this was not a case where we believe that someone was shooting up, we had information someone was shooting up drugs and there were needles and a bunch of drugs laying out. That wasn't the allegations, right?
No.
So you would have expected to find a bunch of needles and drugs laying around on the floor, right?
Well, if it was drug related or drug poisoning, I would expect, if it was self-administered, I would expect some paraphernalia, a baggie or something to be there.
And that's not what you were investigating at that time.
No, at that time, there were a lot of unknowns, suspicious. I believe all I knew at that time was pinkish liquid, the phone conversation that was had between Miss Denny and her friend, and that she was transported on life support. Believed it was poison, in this case a drug. That's why I labeled it as a possible unknown drug on the vials I collected. That was the extent.
And despite all those unknowns, there were still at least 2 cups you didn't collect, right?
Yes.
And several items of food that you didn't collect, right?
But collect some samples. Yeah. And the only reason I correct that, our partner will not accept food products in that sense. But yes, you're
But
correct.
despite those
Yes, sir.
unknowns,
Yes,
there
sir.
were at least some food samples you didn't collect.
It's true. Yes, sir.
Any other questions?
No.
Thank you, sir.
All righty then. So he is done. So there are some questions that they have right now that is of big concerns. Part of which is there were some items that some people would feel that were vitally important that should have been collected that weren't. That this gentleman came from one red room scene to another without changing clothes. And they've also earlier talked about possible contamination. So this is starting to heat up. I gotta say, I would be a little disappointed in their investigation if this was my loved one. I would want every liquid, every bit of food, anything and everything that someone could use to poison somebody, whether you know for sure or suspect, should have been, in my humble opinion, I would want to see them actually go in and collect it. The camera was moved, but was not collected. The camera was left alone. They didn't even try to download it. Could have had something on it. They didn't even look to see if it had a memory card that I know of. I could be wrong because I don't hear well, and I may have missed that part of the testimony. But so this is getting interesting, y'all. It is now almost 11 o'clock my time. We are at the perfect stopping point for tonight. My apologies for starting late. There again, I didn't have internet. So we'll go live again this weekend to get caught up. I have my beloved precious daughter is in town. We have to deal with something that's not very happy, but she's safe. She's fine. But we are going to try and have a decent day tomorrow together. I do have to be, another reason why I need to go ahead and hang up my shoes is because I've got to be up at 6:37 in the morning because I got to go out of town for work again. And I'm kind of happy to do it because I got flex hours, so I can use that on Thursday. Everybody's off on Friday the 3rd, so I can actually have Thursday off. So yay me. But we will go live again this weekend and continue and catch up. And I can already tell you on my experience on this end, the internet seems to be running a lot smoother than it was before. So yay, honey, you're here. It shows you're offline. I didn't know because I had my switch. So anyway, thank you to my fabulous mods that were here tonight. Angel Eyes and Honey, thank you so much for being here. You are awesome. You rocked it tonight. All of you, thank you for your comments. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all of your support. And I will see you again later this weekend. Click the subscribe, the like button, and the bell so you will hopefully get notified. And if you don't know, just because you click the bell does not mean you're going to get notified anymore. If you're not watching us on a regular basis and you're not here on a regular basis, you're not going to be notified. If you watch once or twice and have a month in between, you're not going to get notified. You have to be here on a pretty regular basis to get the notification. So thank you guys who have recently subscribed. You bless me so much. And I look forward to seeing you again a little later this weekend. Y'all have a great night. Bye. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. I hope you have an awesome day. Till next time.